Yeah, this works. Welcome to my living room. We are going off script. Yikes, I got the microphone on a yardstick. We're going to talk about working with new directors, assuming you're experienced in the DP realm. And if you're not, hopefully this is also helpful. We're going to talk about what you will encounter, what you should expect, what are some tips, maybe some advices I can give to you. Because recently I've been working with a lot of newer directors, and it's one thing to work with an experienced director, and the experience is totally different working with an inexperienced one. It doesn't mean that it's bad. It just means that it's a different approach. That's the plan for today. Camera only has 23 minutes left in a battery. Hopefully we can get this done. God, we have 4 minutes left on the camera. We are on a Canon 35-105 f 3.5, the FD version, zoomed all the way out to 35. We are at I can't tell, I think we're wide open there. This paired with the Canon C500 Mark II, ISO 200, and shutter speed 360. I can't tell if I'm in focus. I hope I am. How's the shutter speed working for you guys? Gonna cut my hair pretty soon. There we are, sharp. So working with an experienced director, you're going to notice that the workflow is really, it just falls into place. The director will know what to expect of you, and you know sort of what kind of cues and what kind of directions to expect from the director. If both parties are experienced, the collaboration is almost instantaneous. Just hit the ground running and it just works, right? There's a reason why the director and DP relationship is the way it is. It's so that both of you guys together can quickly communicate the vision and execute plans and share ideas. Like, that relationship is meant to be a really highly efficient interface, right? New directors don't know that. New directors will have a very different idea of what a director is, and it's often not what it is. This year I've been working with a couple of new directors, and the experiences were obviously different. First, let me tell you about what it felt like working with new directors. In case another DP out there who is in a similar situation and is asked to work with an inexperienced director, or maybe an inexperienced director comes and wants to work with you. For example, this happened to me, but I got a script and there was a whole block of basically just a paragraph that was half a page. And if you're a new director or an inexperienced director, here's a little bit of advice. When you write your script before you share it to your DP, a lot of the decisions, like whether or not I want to work with a director and if it's my first time interacting with them, is gonna come from, is the script formatted correctly? A lot of times I myself get scared when I get a script and it doesn't look like a script. And there are plenty of YouTube videos out there that will explain the script format and how it should look and why we write scripts the way it is. DPs really depend on a really well formatted script, because a well formatted script can tell you, it can give you a lot of information about the shoot itself outside of the story, outside of the narrative. A good script, upon a glance, can tell you what the lighting setup will be to how long or how many days the whole production will take. A well-written script can give you hints like, what's the blocking gonna look like? It can give you hints as to the camera movement, which is important because we look for that when we do our equipment order. We'll look at the script, and if it's written correctly, we can get a sense of what kind of equipment is needed and get that ball rolling ahead of time. A good cinematographer can look at the script if it's well written and tell if the story, the type of narrative, is a good fit for the cinematographer. Sometimes I've had to say no to certain gigs because while reading the script, and although the story is really compelling, it's not a story that really inspires me or a project that I can see myself doing, that you're not the best fit for that project, if that makes any sense. That's why it's really important for scripts to be written correctly. It's the sort of thing that DPs and cinematographers look for in order to make the decision to jump on or to pass on a project. I don't know if this is helping. 17 minutes left. Yikes. Okay. So what can you look forward to? Say you've said yes to a director and their script, and you find out that this is their first time working with a crew and it's their first time directing a film. What sort of things are you going to expect? Number one, and this is consistent based on my experience with working with various inexperienced directors for the first time, it's a slow burn. It takes a while for the ball to get moving. It helps to have an experienced crew. If the crew knows how to do their jobs, they will lean to you kind of to sort of direct. But that's limited to the director and how clear their vision is and how well you communicate with that director. In many cases, you'll find that the director will be running all over the place and doing everything. A characteristic of a new inexperienced director is that they will not understand that they need to let go and trust other people to do the work for them. They kind of feel like they have to have their hand in every department and every aspect of the work. For example, if they're building a prop, the director will want to be there to sort of like help the prop, or if they're on set and they're set dressing, they're gonna be there kind of like, no, it's more like this. Inexperienced directors will have a problem kind of explaining their vision and communicating that to the rest of the crew, including you. And I'm peeking. I can see right. Oh God, I've been peeking this whole time. It's gonna be fine, guys. Okay. The camera says we have 14 minutes to finish this. We just talked about inexperienced directors and how they have a lot of trouble communicating clearly and effectively their vision and directions to other crew. What can you do to help smooth this along? You can be patient, listen, and ask questions. Ask very clear questions when they're trying to set up a shot. What's the context of this action in this shot? Say, in this shot, it's a shot of someone falling onto the ground and they're bleeding. They've been hurt. And if you've not been paying attention or whatever, or if this is the first shot of this sequence, whatever, maybe there might not be enough context. What's the context? What just happened? Why is he hurt? Who hurt them? Is the character facing this way? Well, why is the character facing this way and not the other way around or whatever? There's some questions that you can ask the director and to help you give clues as to what the scene is so that you can better infer what the shot, like what the right shot is, so that the director can get what they need to make the film work. And if you're a director and you're having trouble, that's a car, and if you're having trouble communicating what's happening in your scene or in your shot, one piece of advice that I could offer you is don't over-explain. Sometimes giving too much detail will make it very hard for everybody else to follow along. You don't want to kind of conduct a whole train of useless information. It's not useless information, but it's information that is not immediately useful, because the kind of answers that people are looking for are quick, snappy answers so that they can get the job done. For example, so the DP asks you, what's the context? Why did he fall down? She rubbed a lotion on him and it was poisoned. Now he's been poisoned and she's freaking out. Pretty much, I mean, for me, I would have been satisfied with that. Moving along. If you're working with a new inexperienced director, you want to allot as much time as possible so that you guys don't fall behind schedule. In my experience with a lot of inexperienced directors, the shoot tends to go far beyond 10 or 12 hours. And that has to do with the directors adjusting to their role as the director. Again, at the very beginning, it's a slow burn. The ball doesn't get rolling as quickly. You are literally the anchor of experienced, and they're going to rely heavily on you. It's going to be kind of hard. It's going to be kind of hard, and it gets complicated really quick. You're going to have to direct a little bit, but also let them direct, if that makes any sense. It's really hard to explain. When it happens, and one of the things that you can do to prevent the overtime is you can offer solutions. You can come together and really just make the whole process as simple as possible. If you guys have a shot list and the director, for say you guys are shooting an 8-hour day and the director has 64 shots, right? Say it's 4 scenes, 64 shots. That means that for every scene, there's about between 20 to 30 shots. That was bad math. That was bad math. Make it simple. Cut as many shots as you can. If there's a lot of close-ups, maybe you guys can do all the close-ups first. Try to do as much as possible that's very similar. Try to get all the similar shots done very quickly. And oh God, now there's only 10 minutes left in the camera. Jesus, we're off script, people. I would even go as far as to say in the pre-production, in the planning, try to make it as simple as possible. Don't overcomplicate things. The worst thing that could happen that could demoralize a new director or that can turn them off to the whole filmmaking process is if they show up to set and they immediately get overwhelmed because they set the bar so high and it's so ambitious, but because they're not efficient in their role, because it's their first time, that they might not get a short film at the end of the day, or they might not get what they wanted and it might be a miserable experience for them. I would recommend to keep it as simple as possible from the very get-go and be very, very clear about what you guys are doing so that when you guys get to set, and even though it's slow rolling, you guys know what's going on, you guys know what's happening happening. If things do get far like behind schedule, you guys know in your head, oh, well, we've had this, maybe we can cut this or merge this with something else, and you guys can further condense. The more the both of you, the director and the cinematographer, are, you know, on the same page mentally in terms of what's in the story, what you guys are capturing, the easier the process for the both of you. In this most recent shoot that I did, maybe one thing that I wish I should have done was at the very beginning of the day, pull them aside. This could be a phone call before you guys even meet on set, right? Like, what's your process? What are your expectations? That question might be kind of like ambiguous, but you can ask them like, what is the expectation you have as your job as the director, right? Do you have any questions like when to call action, when to call cut? Hopefully they're not offended, but try to phrase it into a way where like, hey, I'm just trying to help you, making sure that you know, or just covering the bases, because it's not impossible that they might not actually even know the extra, you know, the hidden responsibilities of a director, not beyond just action and cut. Really quickly kind of review the chain of command and how that works, and maybe tell them, you know, your expectations of them as a director, and then maybe also ask them their expectations of you as the cinematographer. That way I think you guys will get to know each other's boundaries and or even each other's shortcomings, and then that way you guys can whatever, just trying to make sure that you guys have kind of like a roadmap for clear and efficient communication and clear, efficient collaboration ahead of time. That way, so that, you know, everybody, you guys kind of hit the ground running. 7 minutes left. What else? What else can I say? Oh, have fun. Making a film is really hard. At any level, filmmaking is an incredible task, and just getting a film done at all is a huge miracle. It really is. Remember to have fun with it. Yes, it's a job, but chances are if you're working with an inexperienced director, there's not any funding. Everybody's just coming together on a weekend, right, to volunteer and to help the vision come alive, to help each other out. So just have fun. Try to be as less stressed as possible, because the less stressed you are, the less stressed your director will be. If you guys immediately set a environment, an aura, a vibe of respect and chill and calm, then, you know, that will be infectious with the rest of the crew. Everybody will feel calm and respected. That's pretty much about it. You're already setting a positive expectation for the day. You know, the law of attraction, the day will be a good day. Look at the sun. It is coming through the blinds right now. We do have, I should have mentioned this at the top of the show, that we do have a Blackmagic Pro Mist, and you guys probably can't tell. I love it. Again, we are at 24 frames. We are at 24 frames a second with a shutter of 360. All right. Oh God. Now we're cooked. That'll do. Ladies and gentlemen, that's it. God, I have 4 minutes left on the camera. To be fair, I did not charge the battery. This was totally my fault. Let me know what you guys think. Do you guys have any tips for new directors who might be watching this? Do you guys have any tips or any experiences to share? Please share them. We can all learn together if we help each other out. All right. I love you guys.